to virtual outdoor studio right here at the beach. Morning yoga Wednesday morning, gentle yoga today, focusing on still the chakra of Anahata, the heart chakra. So it's so fitting that we're out here today while we're studying this chakra, because the element of this chakra is air. And as I got out of my car, the first thing I was struck by was the salt air and the mist in the air that comes with being at the ocean. And how when you're at the beach, your mind cannot be anywhere else. It has to be here. You are brought into the present time, presence, by the sound of the ocean, of the waves crashing on the beach, by the sound of the breeze around you, by the sound of the seagulls. As you can see this morning, they are doing that sand leveling thing on the beach, so you hear that sound. And Anahata is all about finding joy in the present moment. Finding joy with what's all around you right now. I also don't know anybody that can go to the beach and be crabby. I often say, it's like my mantra, you can't be crabby in nature. Well, this is the ultimate expression of how you cannot be crabby in nature. Here you are surrounded by all these gorgeous sounds, this beautiful breeze, these amazing smells, and the sound of those waves continuously crashing on the beach. So as we enter into this practice this morning, I invite you to fully embrace the present, fully enjoy the present that you are in. Bring our hands to heart center and bow our heads. I thank you for the patience of beginning this practice late, because I really wanted it to be here today. Thursday night will be on time. It'll be from the living room of my friend's house. Let's go ahead and place our hands down. So the mudra for Anahata, there are two that I can present to you. One looks like a crown. It's the mudra of the lotus flower. The lotus flower represents rebirth, represents purity. The heart is pure. Everything that we do with the heart, we do out of a place of purity, out of a place of love, right? And so the lotus flower is representative of that purity. Every night, the lotus flower goes underneath the murky, muddy waters of a river, and then emerges in the morning pure and fresh and ready for the new day. And so that really is an embodiment of what love is and what our heart seeks to do. So that's one mudra that you can choose. The other mudra that represents the heart chakra is like if you were having a cup of English tea, right? You take your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, place them against your thumb, leaving your pinkies out. So choose whatever mudra you want. So you can do the lotus mudra, you can do this mudra. And let's just begin to get into our breath. Sitting tall in whatever way you want to sit. I'm sitting on yoga blocks right now. I like to start off my mornings when I'm doing yoga with some sitting support. You can sit flat on the mat. That's totally acceptable. You can sit against the wall if you want. I want you to inhale your shoulders up to the ears and then exhale them back down, placing your shoulder blades on your back and close together, allowing an open channel from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of the head. And then begin to get into the breath. As you are breathing, imagine that you have this beautiful open channel, allowing energy to flow freely up and down your spine. Imagine you've got the sound of these waves around you. Imagine that you can smell this salty air and feel the salty mist on your face. Take time to observe, where does that place you? Where does that place your mind? As you breathe, I want you to expand your lungs, expand your ribs, expand your chest, widen your collarbones. Take your time breathing up the spine. Take your time breathing down the spine. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Let's bring our hands up and introduce movement. Inhale your hands up. Exhale down and out. Inhale out and up. Exhale out and down. As we do that again, when you inhale up and out, widen your collarbones as much as you can. Embrace the world around you, using your heart, shining it up. And then exhale it down. Placing one hand on your mat or on the floor. I'm going to choose my left hand. Draw your opposite hand out to the side and overhead alongside your ear and curl to the opposite side. So I'm curling to my left, stretching out my right. Open up your heart center by drawing your shoulder back, shining your face up, drawing in the air around you. Breathe with joy. Breathe with contentment. Breathe with a present mind and heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, switch sides. I'm placing my right hand on the ground. I'm drawing my left hand out and alongside my left ear. I am curling to my right as I open to my left. I'm inhaling, reaching. And then on the exhale, I'm shining my heart center up to the sky, shining my face up to the sky. One more inhale. Exhale, draw that out and back down. Inhale, both hands up again, shining the heart center. Exhaling down. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, place them on the floor. I'm going to move out these blocks from behind me. You can do that trick that we've done before where you take your block up, inhale it up into the sky, and then exhale, lean forward, hinging from the hips. Allow your block to hit the mat, and then push your block forward. Stretching out your lower spine, stretching out your hips. Shining your heart center towards the mat, leading with the heart. You're going to hear me say that a lot in this practice today, that we are leading with the heart. One more inhale. Exhaling. Inhale, pull that back. Switch your feet. I've got my right foot in the front. I'm going to put it in the back. Inhale your hands up. Exhale out and down. Inhale up. Exhale out and down. Inhale out and up. Exhale, grab your block. Inhale it up. Exhale, reaching forward, hinging at the hips. Allow your block to hit the mat in front of you. Push it forward. Continuing to work that stretch by reaching forward, allowing your heart center to reach for the mat, stretching out the back of your left hip if your left foot is in front. One more inhale. Exhale. Let's bring it back. Awesome. Doesn't that feel so great? Let's go ahead and do some spinal twisting. Go ahead and inhale. Grow your spine long and straight, drawing the crown of your head up to the sky. On your exhale, turn your body to your right. I'm placing my right hand behind me, my left hand on my right knee, and I'm just gently twisting, drawing my heart center to the right, always leading with the heart. You might choose to look behind. I can see rocks, I can see kelp beds, I can see surfers, I can see people walking on the beach. What a beautiful view today. Inhaling. Exhaling, engaging your twist, drawing your right shoulder back as you draw your heart center around. Inhale. Exhale, twisting. One more inhale. Exhale, return to neutral and continue to walk your hands to the left side. So I'm placing my right hand on my left knee, my left hand behind me, inhaling my back very straight, drawing the crown of my head up to the sky. And then on my exhale, I am turning to the left, leading with my heart center, looking over now at the pier. That pier's calling me. I'm going to take a walk on that pier this morning. Looking at that gorgeous seawall behind me with all those beautiful painted tiles. One more inhale. Then on the exhale, go ahead and return to neutral. Let's go ahead and move into tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Draw your belly button up so that you have a nice straight back. On your inhale, drop your udders, drop your belly, bring your hips up, draw your shoulders back, inhaling. And then on your exhale, go ahead and draw your belly button up against the spine as you curl your back up to the sky. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the hips, draw your heart center forward, bringing your shoulders back on your spine. Exhale, reverse that order and pull your belly button up to the sky, dropping your head, dropping your hips. Inhale, drop the belly, draw the heart center forward, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, back and down. Exhale, reverse that order. One more inhale, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, heart center shining forward, lifting up your hips. And then exhale into cat as you draw your back up to the sky. Let's reach our hands forward into puppy dog pose. Leave our hips high up in the air, leaving room for the heart center to draw towards the mat. Stretch as much as feels good to you. Just make sure that your hips stay high up in the air. This is a wonderful way to open up the front of the body, first time of the day. And then go ahead and rise up. Place your left hand underneath your heart center. Draw your right hand up to the sky. Keep your hips stationary while you do that. And just enjoy that opening of the heart to the right. One more inhale, reaching high. On your exhale, draw your hand underneath your left arm. Lay across your right shoulder. Engaging that twist to the left. Draw your hips a little bit to the right so that they're squared off. And if you want to, you can take your left arm up overhead and you can even wrap it around your back, kind of reaching for your hip bone and pulling your heart center open to the left. Drawing your left shoulder back in space. See how that feels for you. One more inhale. Exhale, drawing your left shoulder back to expose your heart center. Inhale, raise up your hand. Exhale, place that hand on the mat. Go ahead and rise up. Place your right hand underneath your heart center. Draw your left arm up into the air, opening up your heart to the left. And then on your exhale, go ahead and draw that underneath your right arm. Lay across your left shoulder, looking to your right. And then go ahead and raise up your right hand to increase that stretch some more. Draw your hips to the left to square them off. And if you want to increase your stretch, your twist, take your right arm, draw it down your back and around and try to reach for your left hip bone with your hand. Drawing your right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, drawing it back. Inhale, rise your hand up into the air. Exhale, place it on the mat. Lift up. Inhale into cow again. And exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. One more inhale into cow. Exhale to neutral spine. Put your right hand forward and put your left foot back on the floor behind you. Straight leg behind you. If you want, you can lift that leg. Keep your arm lifted. Draw your belly button in against the spine. This is a stabilizing exercise. It increases the use of your muscles along your whole spine. And it creates balance. As you draw your belly button up against the spine, it increases your abdominal strength. One more inhale, reach as far as you can forward and your leg as far back as you can. And then exhale, drop your right hand, drop your left knee. Let's go to the other side. Inhale your left hand up and inhale your right foot back. If you want, you can lift that leg. Toes pointed towards the earth. Left hand reaching forward. And as you do this, pull your belly button up against the spine so that you have a nice neutral back, engaging all the muscles of your core, engaging all the muscles of your back, using the strength of the back of your right leg to lift up your leg to hip height if you want, or you can leave your toes on the floor, but keep your legs straight and strong behind you. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, drop your left hand, drop your knee. Inhale into cow again. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. And then exhale into cat. Returning to neutral spine. Let's go on that theme again. Drawing our right hand forward, drawing our left foot back. If you want to continue like that, you may, or you can join me by grabbing your left foot with your right hand, opening up your heart center, kicking your foot behind you, kicking it up and high behind you, or you can even hold it low, whatever works for you. Whatever you do, open up that heart. Take in the joy that's all around you, living in the present. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, drop your left knee, drop your right hand. We're going to go to the other side now. Inhaling your left hand out in front, right foot behind. You can raise it up and you can hold this, or you can reach around, grabbing your right foot with your left hand, kicking your right foot into your hand as you open up your heart. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, reach your hand out in front, left foot behind. Now, if you want to have a better view of me, I'm going to turn my mat just slightly so that you can see me from different angles. Hopefully that'll work for you. Inhale, your udders down, your hips up, your heart center forward. Exhale, reverse that into cat again, drawing your back up to the sky. Inhale, rise that heart center up. Exhale, reversing and drawing your back to the sky. One more inhale, dropping the belly, pulling the heart center forward, lifting up the hips. And then exhale, reversing your back up to the sky, drawing the belly button in. Go ahead and sit back on your heels. So if you look at mine, my toes are tucked, I'm back on my heels. Let's just sit back there for just a moment and stretch out our feet. So another reminder that we're at the beach. There is nothing better for your feet and for exercising your feet than walking on the sand. You know how it exercises every muscle of the foot. Our foot are the foundation. They are a connection to the earth. So when we walk on the beach, there's no greater reminder of that connection to the earth, but it is so good for your feet to do that. And as we get older, you're so young, this doesn't apply to you, Simon, but as we get older, we often don't use our feet as much as we should. And so we lose our balance, we lose our connection to the earth, we shuffle, we do shorter steps, and we lose our strength. We need our feet to be strong for the rest of our body to be strong. Okay, so go ahead and release your feet. Now sit on the tops of your feet. We're just going to stretch out the front of our knees. Let's do a modified camel while we're here. On the inhale, draw your heart center up to the sky. Rise it as high as you can. Enjoying that fresh salt air on the face. Opening up the throat. Drawing the shoulders down the spine and back. Lifting up the heart center as if somebody is reaching down and pulling it up. Exhale. Go ahead and return to neutral. We're going to do a couple of camels. So that was the first version of camel. The next version is going to be actually up on the knees. You can use blocks if you want. I'm going to show that method of using blocks. So I will turn to the right. Okay, so inhaling our hands up. Exhale, bring them down behind you, back by your feet. So I've got the blocks back by my ankles, and I'm tenting my fingers on top of the blocks or placing my hands on them. On the inhale, draw your heart center up to the sky. Drawing, drawing, drawing. And on the exhale, allow your upper back to curl, maybe opening up the throat and dropping your head back. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, draw your chin to your chest, gently rising up using your core muscles. Okay, so you can continue to use the blocks if you want. I'm going to set my blocks aside. I'm going to tuck my toes. So another option that you have is you can do one block and then grab your foot. So that's another option. So I'm going to raise up my right hand. Then on the exhale, I'm going to reach back. I can place my hand on my heel, or I can grab my right foot, draw it up against my right hip as I curl back. One more inhale. Exhale, releasing out of that, rise up. Let's do the other side. I'm taking my right block and I'm placing it on the right side, okay? Inhaling my left hand up, exhaling, drawing it back to my heel, or I'm gonna take the other variation and pull my right foot up against my left foot up against my left hip. One more inhale, and then exhale, release that down. So you can continue to use the blocks as a variation. You can also place your hands on the base of your spine. So let's inhale, rising the heart center up. And then on the exhale, you can push your hands into your lower back as you curl your spine back, your upper spine, drawing your heart center up to the sky. One more inhale, exhale, rising up. And then just for the joy of the viewers, I'm going to do one final camel. You can take any of those other variations that I showed you. Inhaling my hands up to the sky. And then on the exhale, reaching back for both of my heels. Inhaling my heart center up to the sky as I push my hips forward. On my exhale, curling my upper spine back, opening up my throat, going into full camel. One more inhale. And then exhale, draw your chin to your chest, using your core muscles, rise up. I'm gonna turn around and do a counter pose. We're gonna do puppy dog again, leaving our hips high in the air, reach our hands forward. If you choose, you can drop back to child's pose, leave a lot of room for the belly to fall to the mat. And reaching forward that way gives a nice stretch of the lower spine. One more inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back. Normally I show you all those counter poses in between, but I wanted to show all the variations of camel while we were out here this morning. Okay, so let's go ahead and rise up onto our knees again. We're going to do a sequence of gate pose with supported side plank like we've been doing lately because it just feels so good, right? So go ahead and take your right leg out to the side, your foot flat on the floor, the edge of your foot away from the body. Okay, so your edge of your foot sealed on the floor. Just get into that pose for a moment. You might feel a gentle stretch on the inside and the back of your leg. Go ahead and grow your spine tall, pull your belly button into the spine, tuck your tailbone while you're in that pose. Right now, my hands are just down, my shoulders are back and down. Just doing this alone strengthens your core muscles, strengthens your pelvis muscles. Go ahead and lean to your left. Place your left hand on the floor underneath your shoulder. Take your right hand up to the sky or alongside your ear. Okay? And then push your hips forward just slightly as you engage this stretch. A long continuous stretch from your ankle all the way to your wrist, and then start to open up your heart center towards the sky, drawing your right shoulder back just a little bit, looking at the sky, which here is covered, in clouds because we have, the morning moisture, the morning cloud cover. Just enjoying that stretch. And then on your inhale, rise up, go into those warrior two arms that we always talk about, and then continue to tilt to your right side, allowing your right hand to sit on top of your right leg. If you want to continue to curl to your right, stretching out your whole left side body. And you can also draw your heart up to the sky by pulling your left shoulder slightly back. So it's like I've created this little moon crescent shape with my body. And then let's go back to that supported side angle. Well, not really supported side angle, it's supported plank. And then go ahead back into gate pose, hand on the leg, left arm alongside your left ear, drawing to the right. And then back into that supported plank, supported side plank. And then rise back up into gate, reaching to the right with your left hand, creating that crescent shape with your body. Feels so good. Bring your right hand or your left hand further to the right, circle it down and back up as we go into those warrior two arms. Place your hands on your hips, draw your right knee in to join your left. Take your left foot, place it out to the left. Once again, feeling the outside of your left foot to the ground. Sit up nice and tall, standing on your right knee, drawing your belly button in, allowing your tailbone to tip down a little bit. Take our hands out to the side and tip into that supported side plank. All right, go ahead, draw your left shoulder back, expose your heart center to the sky. Get into that stretch that goes from your right fingertips or your left fingertips all the way down to your left ankle. Enjoy that delicious stretch. Take in all that's around you, shining your heart center up to the sky. And then go ahead and rise up, using the strength of your core, rising up, going into gate pose, placing your left hand on your left leg, gently rising your right hand to the sky, and then curling over, creating a crescent shape with your body. Again, draw your right shoulder back and expose your heart center up to the sky. It's not a big move, by the way. You're not like sharding like that, but you're just opening up the chest. Rising up into those warrior two arms. Allow your right hand to fall to the ground. Left hand overhead and then alongside the left ear. And then we're just going to go back and forth on this gently. Rising up, going into gate. Creating that crescent shape with the body, curling to the left. And then dropping to the ground. Right hand to the ground. Drawing your left arm alongside your left ear. Rising up, warrior two arms, left hand on the left leg. Creating that crescent shape with your body as you curl to your left. And then dropping your right hand to the ground underneath your shoulder alongside your leg. Drawing your left hand up overhead alongside your left ear, stretching out the body. Reach your left arm to the left, circle it down and back up. Place your hands on your hips and draw your left knee to join your right knee. Ha! Very nice. Go ahead and sit back on your knees if you want. Or if you want, you can even sit all the way down in hero if you feel open enough to do that. You can push up on the soles of your feet to lift out of hero just a little bit. Give a little bit of wiggle room for your hips. Allow them to hang down, creating extension in the spine. Ah, very, very lovely, isn't it? So normally on my gentle morning routines, we usually just stay on the floor. But you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to rise us up a little bit. Here we are. Technically, the sun has risen, but we've got, you know, these coastal clouds that are obstructing the sun. But let's do some sun salutations anyway, some half sun salutations. Place your hands at heart center, stand in Tadasana. When we're in Tadasana, remember we are always stacking our hips over our feet, shoulders back and over our hips, drawing our heart back or our head back into that space behind us, as if you have a wall behind you and you're pressing your whole body against it. And the only way you can do that is by spreading your collarbones and exposing your heart center. Inhale your hands up, maintaining all that length. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands out and up. Exhale your hands out and down. Inhale your hands out and up. Exhale them out and down. Spread your legs apart. And let's go ahead and inhale our hands out. And then on the exhale, bend your legs and start to fold over your thighs, creating a gentle opening of your lower back. Keep your legs deeply bent as you draw your heart center towards your thighs and maybe drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine by pushing against the shins, drawing your crown of your head forward, creating a nice straight spine from your hips all the way to the crown of your head. And then exhale, drop it down. Inhale into a flat back, pushing against your shins, keeping your legs bent still as you draw your shoulders away from your ears and draw the crown of your head forward. Exhale down. And let's do that one more time. Pushing against the shins, drawing the crown of your head forward, pulling your shoulders away from your ears and down your back, creating as much extension as you can from the tip of your tail all the way to the top of your head. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, keeping a nice flat back. As you rise to the top, you can straighten your legs, hands all the way to the top in prayer, and then exhale them down to your heart center. Take a moment, take stock in how you feel, observe. And let's do crescent pose while we're standing, or not crescent, I'm sorry. Half moon, or half moon. Okay, so go ahead and place your hands down. Place your left hand against your left thigh. Bring your right hand out to the side, up alongside your right ear, and then curl to your left. You don't have to curl a lot. Push your hips to the right as you draw your body to the left. You're creating a crescent shape with your body. That's why I said crescent pose. Crescent pose is a completely different exercise. Completely different asana. All right, rise up, inhale your hand to the sky, place your right hand alongside your left thigh, take your left hand out and over alongside your left ear, and then curl to the right, creating a crescent with your body, pushing your hips to the left. Continue to keep your heart center open by drawing your left shoulder slightly back. Very nice. Go ahead and rise up. Inhale our hands both overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward, placing our hands on the mat. Let's go ahead and do a runner's lunge. Placing our right foot behind us, bending our left knee. Draw the heart center forward. Just focus on drawing the heart center forward. If you want, go ahead and drop your knee. And it's a very good idea to take your blocks and use those for further heart opening. So I've got my left foot out in front of me, my right foot deeply bent. My left knee deeply bent. My right knee is on the mat. My toes are tucked, or you can leave them with your foot flat. Drawing my blocks underneath me, right underneath my shoulders, using my blocks to rise up my heart center, drawing my shoulders back as I allow my hips to sink. One more inhale, rise the heart center up. Then on your exhale, tuck your right toes. Bring your hips back in space, allowing your left leg to straighten out and curl your toes off the floor. And we're just gonna go into a runner's stretch. Continue to support yourself on blocks if you have them. And just draw your heart center towards your toes as you draw your hips back. Keep your shoulders back on your spine. Keep your heart lifted, keep your head lifted so that you have a nice straight spine. And all of this stretch that you feel should be all along the back of your left leg. And just continue to breathe gently, rising your toes up into the air as you bring your heart center forward. Pulling your shoulder blades onto the spine. Very nice. Go ahead and place your foot back, bend your leg. Place your blocks up at the top of your mat by your foot. Bring your left knee back. Bring your right foot forward, bending your right knee deeply. Bring your blocks back to your hips again. Create the space that you want to create. So I'm moving my left foot back just a little bit. And then go ahead and sink into those hips as you draw your heart up to the sky, drawing your shoulder blades back onto the spine, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. One more inhale. Then on your exhale, pull your left hip back in space, pulling both your hips back, allowing your right leg to straighten out as you curl your toes up to the sky. You can place your blocks forward. You can leave them in the same place they were at. Drawing your right hip back in space as you draw your heart center forward towards your toes, keeping your chest high up and away from your leg. Continuing to stretch, feeling a nice, deep, satisfying stretch all along the back of your right leg. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful way to start the day. Very lovely. Rise up. Bring your right knee back to join your left. And let's sit back on our legs again. Ah, isn't that just so delightful? I can't tell you how much I enjoy that. And you know, we get such benefit from deer pose. So let's go ahead and do deer pose this morning. So go ahead and lean into your hands. So going into tabletop, take your left knee and bring it forward. Take your right knee and bring it back, and then sit down to your left. Take your left foot and kind of move it out in front of you so that you're not really parallel with the mat, but you have quite a bit of space now between your left heel and your pelvis. Then go ahead and bend your right leg, bringing your right foot back against your hips a little bit. And you might just adjust a little bit. So I'm bringing my left hip a little bit forward so that I can fully sit on my left hip and my left thigh. Okay, so you might have noticed I brought my hips forward just a little bit, and what follows is that my right thigh comes up with it. But there is an opening. So if you look at me, I can turn this way as well. You can see my right leg is kind of parallel with the front of the mat, and my left leg is not. And if I want to open it more, I can just bring my right knee back a little bit more. So the preference is completely yours. So just sit all the way up initially to start with that, and you'll feel a gentle opening of the right crease, hip crease, the front of your right hip. Okay, go ahead and place your hands on the floor and push forward just a little bit. Okay, and then on your exhale, bring your left hip down, bring your right sits bone down. So you'll feel a different opening. Okay, my left knee rose up when I did that. That's totally okay. And then on your inhale, move forward a little bit, drawing your right hip forward, lifting your sits bone off the mat. And then on your exhale, draw your right sits bone down on the mat and open up that hip in a different way. Inhale forward again, pulling your right sits bone off the mat, pushing your hips forward just a little bit. And on your exhale, draw your right hip bone down, Yay. Let's do that one more time. It just feels so good. Inhale, pushing your hip forward, lifting your right sits bone off the mat. And then on your exhale, draw that sits bone back. Let's reverse our legs however you get there. So go ahead and lift up your right leg, kind of swivel around a little bit. Sitting on the right thigh, bringing our left leg back. All righty. And then on the inhale, push your left hip forward, lifting up your left sits bone off the mat. I just saw the most adorable corgi. And then on the exhale, bring your left sits bone down. Inhale, push your left hip forward, lifting up your sits bone off the mat. And then on the exhale, draw your left hip bone down. Inhale, push that hip forward, opening up the right hip more, lifting up the sits bone off the mat. And then on the exhale, draw it down. And then one more inhale, pushing your left sits bone forward, opening up the left hip more, stretching out, your psoas in the front. And then on the exhale, draw it down. Ah, that just feels so good to me. Let's go ahead, place our feet forward. Okay. And we're going to lean back into boat pose, and I'm going to invite you again, draw your shoulder blades back and down, shine your heart center up. As you pull your belly button against the spine, go ahead and hold your legs as you lean backwards. You might open up the throat, allow that sea air to touch your face. And then on your exhale, go ahead and lean over your legs, drawing your body forward. Inhale, lean back into that boat pose. Keep your feet on the mat, creating a letter V with your legs and your body. And then exhale, lean forward. Inhale, rise up and lean back, drawing your shoulders onto your back as you shine your heart up to the sky. And then exhale, lean forward. And let's do kind of a reverse plank. So place our hands behind us. You can do tabletop or you can do plank. Let's start with tabletop initially. This is a wonderful one again for shining your heart, reminding yourself of love and joy. On the inhale, rise up your hips into that reverse tabletop. Draw your shoulder blades together on your spine. It's best if you have your fingertips facing towards your feet. And then go ahead and just lift up the hips as you shine your heart center up to the sky. Drop your head back if that's comfortable for you. One more inhale. And then exhale, drop your hips down. Let's rise them up again. Inhale. Rising up the heart center, rising up the hips, dropping the head back, exposing your throat. And then drop your hips. Now I'm going to place my feet out in front of me, and I'm actually going to do reverse plank. You can continue to do tabletop if you want to, or if you want that additional challenge, which will go, it's going to work all the muscles of your back and legs when we do this. But this is really an expressive pose when you lift up into reverse plank and really exposes the heart center. So on the inhale, go ahead and rise up your hips. Keep your legs straight. Allow your toes to go down to the floor. Pushing your hips up high into the sky, rising your heart high into the sky. Engaging all the muscles of your spine and your legs. And then exhale, lower down. If that feels good, join me doing that again. Inhale, rise up the hips, pushing the hips up, pushing the heart center up, engaging all the muscles of the back of the legs and of your back. Exhale down. And I'm going to do that one more time. Inhale, rising up the legs, rising up your heart center, dropping your head back, exposing your neck. And then exhale back down. And then let's just sit up in staff pose for a moment. So remember, in staff pose, it's just like being in Tadasana. Pulling our shoulders away from the ears, our shoulders back and down on our spine, drawing our belly button up against the spine, creating a nice straight spine as we sit up nice and tall. When you draw your hands back by your hips, it even encourages you to sit taller. So just sit up there, enjoying that staff pose. Maybe leading with the heart on that one as well. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you want to do a forward fold with me, we're going to lead with the heart on that one too. Inhale, our crown of our head high to the sky. And on the exhale, fold forward, drawing your heart center towards your feet. You can leave your hands where they are, or you can reach for your feet. You can bend your legs if you want. The choice is yours. Don't pull too hard. This is our first forward fold in the morning on the floor. And we don't want to overstretch our muscles in our lower spine. We don't want to overstretch the spinal column. Sometimes, you know, our muscles are still tight in the morning, and overstretching first thing in the morning can actually really make for an uncomfortable day for a while. So I try to be very gentle in how I stretch in the morning. And it doesn't really matter what your form looks like. What matters is, are you leading with your heart? The rest will just follow. Everybody's expression in these asanas is a little bit different. And the nice thing about being able to bring yoga to people virtually is there's nobody to stare at except me. And I already know that my form sometimes is not in the expression that I'm even describing, because I feel it in my body and I'm describing what I feel. And I'm describing what I want you to feel. So inhale up. So we take away the need to compete. We take away the need to really push ourselves. We're finding our edge without creating pain and without creating risk of injury. So I think we're at about an hour. I'm not really sure. I'm wondering if we want to do one more heart opener, because it just sounds like a good thing. So let's go ahead and get back up on our knees again. Okay. And what I want you to do is just place your hand in front of you, place your right leg behind you, open up your hips to the sky. So it's like we're going into that supported plank again. But then I want you to draw your heart up to the sky as you draw your right shoulder back. So you're creating a little bit of a twist with your torso. And then go ahead and allow your right hand to fold open, further opening up your heart center to the sky, and just enjoy that. Push your hips kind of up and forward to protect your lower back. And just enjoy that opening up. Go ahead and return your right hand to the floor. Place your right knee on the floor, kicking your right foot behind you, putting your left foot out, sealing up your left foot to the floor. Push your hips forward just a little bit. Start to engage that twist a little bit up to the sky. Whoops, sorry, I fell over. I'm up a little bit high on my hand. You can tuck your toes if that gives you more stability. Now I'm opening up my left arm, allowing it to fall back behind me as I rise my heart up to the sky. A little bit of a curl in the back, a little bit of a twist. Enjoy that. Feel that freedom. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and take your left hand, place it back on the mat, and let's move back into child's pose. Reaching our hands forward, allowing our belly to fall between our thighs, toes together, knees are wide. And go ahead and rise up. Move back. And then if you want to go into Shavasana, you can, or you can sit up. The choice is yours. I'm going to go ahead and lay down in Shavasana. So sitting back on my bum, placing my feet in front of me, and then gently lowering down to the mat. So while you're here, bend your legs. Let's windshield wipe our knees back and forth just to release the lower spine. And then go ahead and find stillness. You can leave your legs bent like this. You can place the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, or what we often call butterfly. Or you can even stretch them out so that you're laying completely flat on the ground. The choice is yours. I'm going to adjust my shoulders a little bit to allow some space for my upper back and my neck. And just start to slow down your breath. Now I would like you to visualize your heart center. The heart center is green. The chakra is green. But what I want you to imagine are the individual cells of your heart beating. Just imagine your heart and imagine the cells of your heart and the rhythmic meeting of those cells, linking in the rhythm with your heart rhythm. Imagine those cells joining together. Imagine that around you are other people with their beating heart cells. Imagine like it's a circle of people that are with you, with their individual heart cells beating. And imagine that those cells, one of them breaks away. And it joins with the heart beside you. And so now you've got two hearts that have cells that have joined up. Sort of like holding somebody's hand next to you. Only now the two hearts are beating together. And imagine that off of that heart next to you, another cell pops off and goes to the heart next to it. And so now you have three hearts joining. And imagine that now the heart cells of everybody's hearts are seeking the heart cells of other people's hearts out. So now in this circle of hearts, of beating hearts, they're all joined by cells that have hopped away from one heart and joined the other. Imagine when these hearts join, that they sync up these heartbeats. And now everybody's hearts are beating together, beating in the same rhythm, beating in sync with one another. And in joining your hearts together, You're joining your minds together. You're joining your spirits together. And in doing so, you become a greater sum together than you are individually apart. And you are connected in mind, body, and spirit. And in that connection, there is love. There is honor. There is support. There is accountability. There is a reminder that we are never alone, and that the people that are there for us and for whom we are there, we are only a heartbeat away. And when we feel stressed, when we feel aloneness, we can just close our eyes and we can imagine that we are joined by a single heart cell beating in unison with our heart, with their heart. Continue to focus on that idea, on that imagery for the next few minutes. I will bring you back in with my voice. Continue to relax. When you feel ready, let's come back to the present moment. If you are still laying down, roll to one side or the other. Curl into a ball for a brief moment. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and rise up and join me in a seated position. Gently open up your eyes and gaze to a fixed location in front of you. Keeping your eye gaze relaxed. Inhale, rise your hands up. Exhale, drop your hands down. Inhale, rise your hands up. Exhale, bring them out and down. And then one more inhale, rise your hands up. Exhale, bring your hands to Ajna, the space between your eyebrows, your third eye chakra. And then bring them to Anahata, the heart chakra. Inhale. Exhale, bow your head. I think waiting for the light of day, waiting for the sun to come up was a pretty safe and good calculation. Thank you for agreeing to wait a little while for that and start our yoga this morning a little late. Thank you for joining me on the beach. We've made it to midweek. 2 more working days to go before the weekend. May this give you a sense of calm, a sense of peace, a sense of purpose, a sense of connection. May this give you what you need, the energy to see the rest of your week through. We have Hatha Vinyasa Yoga tomorrow night at 7 p.m. out of my friend Greg's living room. Right on. And Saturday, Nova is going to bring you live yoga from the treasure box. She's going to sub in for me on Saturday morning. Same time, same link. The light in me joins with the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.